Hello and welcome to Talking Defense, Rafael's Defense Magazine. Every program is dedicated to a different subject with all relevant experts, data and aspects here in the studio and from around the world. And today, one-on-one with Rafael's president and CEO. With me in the studio is Yoav Har-Even, President and CEO of Rafael. Thank you very much, sir, for joining me today. It's been a crazy 2020. You started it expecting one thing, you ended it receiving a totally different thing. But first, the COVID-19, the coronavirus, which forced you to change everything because you had to keep on manufacturing, but you had to do it differently.
So I think that, first of all, we changed all the culture of how we manage the company. Of course, on the production line, you have to separate the shifts. On the engineering sites and groups, you have to split the groups. The way that you connect to the customers was totally different. And I think that the key for this success were, first of all, agility. The second thing is the way that the people do the adaptation very quick. And this is the unique human resource that we have in Rafael. The second thing is leadership. We were very focused. We gave the goals, we gave the orders. We didn't wait to someone to tell us what to do. And of course, the way that we were able to develop new approach and different ways of managing the whole process.
One more thing you have is reliability. Your customers knew that you will get to them, you will fix what's need to be fixed, you will deliver what's need to be delivered, and the corona is not an excuse for anything.
Yeah, I think that the customer appreciated very much. For example, I think today, at the end of the year, we shipped the second battery of Iron Dome. They didn't believe that we are going to supply 2 Iron Dome batteries during the year, although the COVID-19. We were able to supply just in time all the trophy system to the US Army. And this is only 2 examples, but we did it all over the world, except for few places that we had problem with the chain of supply. But I think that we achieved all our goals.
I bet that when it started in about March, you were sure that this year is going to be disastrous economic-wise. It didn't end like that, right?
No.
How come?
I think that when we started, we had a lot of discussion with our board. And they asked us to give them different scenario. So we gave the optimistic, the realistic, and the pessimistic. At the end of the year, I think we did even better than the optimistic one.
How come?
I think, first of all, people were very focused. We were able to give the priorities. We were able to develop new concept of managing the old processes. And I think we also were able to speak in a different way to different customers. By the way, we found that the customers became also very flexible.
This changed everything for the future as well? Or when the corona is over, you will go on flying, go on selling? Or maybe Zoom is the solution for everything?
Well, I think it's a question of balance. We still need the personal touch with the customer when you speak about product, when you speak about concept. It's not enough to do it virtually, on the virtual, but I think that we will have a different balance. It will not go back to the way it was, but I assume it will not stay as it is.
So let's speak about the future, Yoav. What does it hold for Rafael? Because on one hand, you are at the cutting edge of technology and everything. On the other hand, are there going to be any budgets after the corona is over?
So I think that, first of all, we will continue to be on the cutting edge technology, and this is our uniqueness. We will continue to develop the cutting edge technology system. But on the same time, we will have to adapt ourselves to the customer needs and to the customer limitation of budget. But if you do a zoom out, I don't think that the operational needs had changed. They remain the same. You know, it's a question of priority. And by the way, you cannot generalize the whole world. I think that in Europe it's a different story, in the Far East it's a different story, in the United States it's a different story. So everyone wants the same capabilities that they were speaking with us a year ago. Of course, we might find some places that it will be a little bit slower. But you know, on the overall look, I think it will take us, we will continue to act according to our strategy with the same product. Maybe it will get it will be a little bit slower.
The Middle East has changed dramatically in the last year. We saw the Abraham Accords. You served in the army as a general. You know the army, the Israeli IDF very well. How do you see the future for Rafael within this new Middle East?
Well, I think that the challenges to the state of Israel didn't change, as a matter of fact. Well, you know, you speak about Iran, you speak about Lebanon, Hezbollah, the Gaza Strip. They are here and they are going to stay. There might be some opportunities. We might find some new markets. So this is on the opportunity side. But on the other hand, I think that if they will speak with us and they would like to purchase from us product, it will be only the product that are relevant to the threats. And we share the same threats, by the way. So I think there are a lot of opportunities.
And looking at the future, we spoke of cutting-edge technology. It all relies on R&D. You have to have the best R&D.
Yeah, I think that when you look at on the numbers, how much money do we invest in R&D? So I think that we invest more than almost 10% of our from our revenue in pure R&D, in self R&D. On top of it, you have another 75% more than that you get from the most of it from the government of Israel. So I think that we are doing more than 40% from our revenue is R&D. So you can imagine that 50% of the personnel in Rafael is doing R&D.
Is working for the future, not for the present.
Yeah, but again, for the future, you're speaking about 3 years from now and 10 years from now and 20 years from now.
And one word about affiliations and connections around the world, because you have connections not only of customers, but other businesses that you work with, are the governments, et cetera, factories that you hold around the world.
So part of our strategy is to work with local partners all over the world. So if you look at the United States, our strategy is to work with the Tier 1 company. We're working with Lockheed Martin with the Spike and Loss. We're working with DRS for the Trophy, with Raytheon for the Iron Dome, and with Northrop Grumman for the Lightning Pod, and with BAE for the RCWS. On the same time, we understand that we must have a local entity in the United States, in India, in Europe, in order to make our product localized. So it's a balance between working in a team group with other companies and establish our own.
So Rafael is an Israeli, very, very international company.
Yeah. And we are going to do it in the future even more.
And looking at 2021, you expect a better year than the one that ended?
I think that we will go back to increase our revenue. And we will continue to develop the most advanced cutting-edge technology system, first of all, to the IDF, and then to the rest of the world.
And one last question. If I asked you, what are you proud of the most in Rafael?
The people of Rafael. I think that this year, they show me again that they can do everything. The sky is the limit. As a matter of fact, the space is the limit.
Yoav Har-Even, President and CEO of Rafael, thank you so much for joining me today. And that's all from us today. We'll be back shortly with another edition of Talking Defense. Until then, stay safe and stay tuned. Bye-bye.